Hello and welcome to the September-October edition of the Mill Road News Roundup. Coming up, traders and residents take to the road in a protest against the Greater City Deal's proposals to tackle traffic congestion. A choir with a Shakespearean-themed repertoire will be performing their inaugural concert in November, and Lifecraft open their doors to awesome tea and cake afternoon to mark Mental Health Day. It's a winning combination, tea and cake. First, proposals to close Mill Road to all vehicles except taxis, buses and emergency vehicles twice a day at peak times only came to the attention of a lot of Mill Road traders and residents just days before the consultation period ended on Monday the 10th of October.
Well, I think they should have publicised it more widely and more effectively earlier on. I mean, the only way that it's gathered pace now is from local pressure groups and voluntary groups making people aware of it. But the publicity until now has been very poor, and a lot of people just don't know about it, especially people out of town who drive in or around or near Cambridge for their work.
See our previous video for more detail about this.
Hi, I'm Stef Connor and I conduct a choir in Cambridge on Mill Road here at the St Barnabas Centre called Timeline Choir, and we've been singing together for almost a year. We started in January and we're looking forward to putting on our inaugural concert this November.
Full fathom by thy father lies, of his bones are coral made, those hopes that were his eyes.
And we're rehearsing this evening. We're preparing some really fun repertoire which is all selected to celebrate the 400th anniversary of Shakespeare's death. Our concert's going to be featuring three amazing soloists. They're a vocal trio called Juice, and they're an experimental contemporary music vocal trio, but they're influenced by lots of different things: pop music, electronic music, folk music, and we've put together some really interesting Shakespeare settings and madrigal-inspired pieces, Elizabethan music-inspired pieces that the choir are going to do in collaboration with Juice. The concert takes place on Saturday the 19th of November at the Emmanuel United Reformed Church on Trumpington Street at 7:30, and there's lots of tickets. Everyone's welcome to come along and hear us sing, or if you're into singing, you're welcome to come along at 5:30 for a pre-concert workshop where you'll be learning to sing some Elizabethan music in Shakespeare's accent.
Things are shaping up for a new project that is well underway at Brookfields at the end of Mill Road. The Edge Cafe is a community interest company. Here's Jen Blackburn to tell us more.
So my name's Jen Blackburn. I am the recovery coordinator for the Edge Cafe Cambridge, which is Cambridge's first recovery community cafe. The cafe came about, the idea for the cafe came about 2.5–3 years ago. We had a small service user group and weekly cafe running in Cambridge using other people's premises. We used Clown's Cafe in Cambridge, we used a place on Gwyder Street, and we met at the back of Cornerstone Cafe in the centre of town. One of the issues with using other people's rooms is that sometimes people felt uncomfortable discussing their recovery in very public forums. The other issue was that it meant that people were either sidelined, pushed away into small back rooms, and recovery wasn't a really visible presence. And what we wanted was somewhere that we could call our own. There is a very strong AA, Alcoholics Anonymous, and NA, Narcotics Anonymous in Cambridge, but those groups also run out of rented rooms. So again, backs of churches, community rooms, those sorts of places. We wanted to make recovery from substance misuse, drugs and alcohol in Cambridge a very visible presence. So we looked at whether we could win any funding for it, and we were very fortunate. We won a fund from Public Health England. We've been very fortunate. We have the backing of our local drug alcohol action team, our local DAP, and also from Inclusion, who have helped us get the lease for this building. Lots of people, achieve recovery on their own. They don't directly come through services. Lots of people realise that, they may have a problem with drink or drugs, and they find their own way through it. We hope to be someone to hold their hand on that journey. There are obviously also the people who go through drug and alcohol services. Inclusion is our local drug service, just behind us here. It's our local drug and alcohol service. Lots of the people that go through there find that the thing that they benefit really strongly from are the groups that are run. So groups that are run for addicts, by addicts, or by the staff at Inclusion. And they are groups that talk about relapse prevention. There's a knit and natter group that goes on in there, so people just getting together to knit. There are a variety of different kind of day-to-day groups that help people in early days of recovery. The issue with using the groups from Inclusion is obviously at some point you get well enough to leave Inclusion and you come off their books. And from there people often need somewhere that's the next step to move back out into the world again, and that's what we hope to offer. That is what we will offer. And we hope that it's going to attract not only people in recovery to come here, but also just the general public. It will be a working cafe, open to the public, open to everybody on the site. Yeah, that's what it will be.
Thanks, Jem. I'm definitely going to go over to the Edge Cafe. It sounds fantastic. And building work is now well underway on both the Student Flats site and next to that, the new mosque site. Mill Road's very own style Antiques Roadshow came to Mill Road on Saturday the 15th of October for Valuation Day. We were there to capture some of the exciting action.
She put everything away, took pictures down and everything, but she kept these out. Yeah. And, it came towards us, and all she said, I was screaming, of course, because her plane was coming nearer and the bombs were dropping nearer, and I kept on shouting, it's coming nearer and nearer, and she just said, count. And so we counted, and the next one would have fallen on us, but it didn't. Wow. But this came off the mantelpiece.
You could make it, it's like a science fiction movie, isn't it? It's like so far away. And it's nicely done, there's two little pairs there, they're probably worth like 80 quid a piece.
Well, that's quite interesting.
I think the ceramic is great on it, I think.
But if you ever wanted to sell it to anybody, it's totally illegal and has to be cut up here. Yeah, so duplex. Painting Kissinger's duplex, yeah, that. And then you're into your. That's where the thing. That's because we twisted it. Now it'll lock back on.
Oh right, great. Yeah.
It's the kind of thing that sells between sort of £40 and £100.
I can even read that. Look, the Crickets. Let's have a look. Buddy Holly. Yes, dead right.
Yeah, that's Jerry Allison of the Crickets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. So I think that's going to be anything between £600 and £800 just for that
just
one.
For that one.
Yeah, yeah. And the rest of the book would be a couple of hundred. Funny enough, we've had a lot of signed books by Muhammad Ali, but they didn't make much money simply because he apparently signed a lot of books.
Here's Daisy Zoll with our health and well-being slot to tell us more about an interesting experiment.
Stress. It's going to do for us all if we're not careful, if we're not aware. So, story number one is Dr. Hans Selye, the father of endocrinology. In 1936, he published a paper in the magazine Nature titled A Syndrome Produced by Noxious Agents. I never knew there was an opposite to innocuous, but interesting. He studied the effects on rats of being prodded, poked, poisoned, and generally picked on in a variety of ways. He came up with the word stress, which covers general alarm reaction, which is our need to run away from the line now, or getting cut up in traffic, which is quite annoying, and you can feel your heart rate rise and all sorts when someone does that to us. And then there's also the general adaptation syndrome, which is searching and expecting lions round every corner and for the foreseeable future, or year on year on year of commuting, and that's not very good for the body either, really. Mice, rats and humans can adapt and function to an awful lot of stress and stressors, but in the end our body will start malfunctioning. The second story this is all kind of relating to what's going on in Mill Road, sort of. Rat Park in the 1970s, another Canadian, Bruce Alexander, gave rats that were in addiction studies, gave them a break, gave them a holiday, and put them into a rat park. He took them out of solitary confinement and went to go and live in big cages with lots of friends and water and food and sex and toys, and everything was great. It was kind of like heaven. But these rats who had been addicted to whatever they were being studied, other addictive substances, just stopped taking drugs. And when they were offered the drugs, they didn't want them because they had an exciting life to do. So this was quite interesting. How can we relate this to what's going on in life? I guess humans, we measure different things in humans to rats. So lots of things are going to be affecting the stress levels in humans that we don't necessarily measure for in rats.
The site where the chapel was, at the Mill Road Cemetery, is being marked by a small wall which outlines where it once stood. There is still no word from the government inspector about the Romsey Terrace planning issue, but we'll let you know as soon as we hear something.
Hi there, I'm Andrew Dello. I'm the manager at Lifecraft, which is a self-help organisation for those with mental health difficulties in their lives. Today is World Mental Health Day, and we're inviting the public in to afternoon tea and cakes and to talk openly about mental health issues. Come inside.
I'm Jeremy Benstead, I'm the current Mayor of Cambridge. I'm pleased to be here today at Lifecraft to commemorate World Mental Health Day. Mental health is one of the unspoken illnesses in this country. 1 in 4 people will at some stage in their life suffer from mental health issues from a greater or lesser extent. And Lifecraft does a valuable job in Cambridge as a self-help charity. So I'm pleased to be here today with people here to celebrate World Mental Health Day. It's not something that needs to be hidden. It does still carry a stigma, and that stigma's got to end. We've got to be upfront about it, and I'm a great supporter of people with mental health issues, and I wish Lifecraft all the best for the future. Thank you.
So I'm Kate, I'm a trustee of Lifecraft. I'm not a member, but I got involved because of my neighbour who was quite elderly and was a hoarder. And I got concerned about her and so started trying to help her. And then I realised where she was going every day. And what she was doing was going to Lifecraft, and she told me she felt safe and warm there, and that's where all her friends were. And I did it gradually and got onto the committee, got to know people at Lifecraft and started just trying to help out. What I'm doing now is mostly fundraising and trying to organise events like the tea that we're at the moment to try and open up Lifecraft a little bit to the Mill Road community and to improve the way we're perceived and the prospects for doing some fairly low-key fundraising with the local Mill Road.
I shall read Admiration. Tantalise the sun if you dare, it shall match shadows of you everywhere. Christopher Logue helped my life shape, poetry, jazz records, in those days, no tape. Had I watched a video, bloodthirsty and cruel, forming me bad character would have been that tool. We submit our children to horrors, leading them to nighttime terrors. If good books they were given, guided with kindness, not driven, taken on a nature walk, observe and good things to talk. Always put an animal before ourself, into other people's business, not delve. But if something should cause concern, suspected cruelty to discern, to interfere, stop the fear, to save any living creature, this is okay, to act the preacher.
So my name is Lindsay O'Donnell and I got involved with Lifecraft in 2012 when I approached them and said I would like to do some volunteering work. And at the time I was running my own gardening business, and so it was a natural conclusion that we decided I would run a gardening club, and that's what I did. Yeah, I mean, I've suffered from anxiety and depression all my adult life, so that's why I came to Lifecraft. At the time I was well, and it was, whilst I hadn't had any involvement with them at that point, it was a way of giving back, and I know that gardening is really good for mental health, so it was like, right, well, I can do this, and if what I can do can then help other people in their mental health, then, win-win.
As part of the Open Cambridge weekend, the Mill Road History Society provided a walking tour of Mill Road, highlighting some of the history embedded in its many local buildings. Tom's Cakes has now opened. Here's a glimpse, but we'll hopefully be finding out more about this new shop in due course. I'm pretty sure they're going to have tea and cake, and that's a very good thing. There are more detailed videos about some of these events on this channel. Just look at the recently added videos to see full versions. If you can like and subscribe, that would be really, really great. Mill Road TV is a completely voluntary organisation, but we are growing steadily with over 50 Mill Road videos to date and over 14,000 channel views since we started at the end of last year. If you would like to get involved in any way, presenting, videoing, ideas for features, writing, organising or editing, then please do get in touch so we can continue to nurture and connect with a very diverse Mill Road area and share it through the medium of video. Okay, so while I'm doing this, I may as well promote my own thing. I'm Ryd Cook. I'm a filmmaker who lives on Mill Road, and my brand new award-winning film, Single to London, is going to be screening at the Cambridge Film Festival. So if you can support your local filmmaker and come along, that would be really fantastic. It's going to have 2 screenings. The first screening is on Friday the 21st of October at 10 p.m. at the Artsbridge House Cinema. The second screening is going to be in a big sort of truck travelling cinema type thing. That's going to be on Parker's Piece at 11 a.m. on Tuesday the 25th of October. So hopefully see you there. Okay, that's it for this month. Just remember that it is possible to eat too much cake and drink too much tea. But yeah, enjoy yourself, and we'll see you next time. Bye!